Okay, there may be an issue with it, me being able to point it the right way, but here we go. We're live. Hi, everybody. Long time no see. It's been a while since I've done a live, hence technical problems. And really, that's why I don't go live very often, because there is always technical problems. Whenever you put energy with electronics or technology, you're going to have issues. So, on that happy note, hello and happy almost Halloween. Happy almost November. Happy almost 2024. Wow, so much is happening. I don't even really know where to begin. I'm going to sit here for just a second and let a few people come in. Hopefully they can find us. And then I want to talk about the energy changes that are happening. Yesterday was an eclipse, and it was the last eclipse in Taurus. So this was ending a set of changes that have been going on for some time. I want to talk a little bit about that. I want to talk a little bit about what we can expect in November, and of course a little bit about what's going on in 2024. Yeah, so a lot of good stuff is happening. We just need to be patient, and yeah, good stuff. So I'm kind of surprised it's pretty dark, isn't it? I do have lights on, but yeah. Okay, so while we're waiting for people to find us, how about we draw a card for today? Okay, let's see. Here we go. So as you can see, the card is Awakening to Your True Self. So I concur. That's pretty much the energy for today. It's almost like you're waking up from a dream. Things are changing dramatically, but also it feels kind of slow too. I mean, dramatic changes, but we've been waiting for them, and we've been ready for them. Oh, good morning. Hi. And it's been one of those things where it's like, when is it going to happen? When is it going to be my turn? When is this going to be fixed? Now is the time. Now is the time where things are changing and flowing better. So it's almost like you're waking up from a dream, and it's like, okay, everything's the same, but yet everything's different. The energy feels different, we feel different, and our relationships especially are different. How we look at life, our connection to other people, our connection to material things, comfort and security are definitely changing too. So yeah, it's like I say, it's almost feels like it's too easy, because we're doing what we've been doing the last several years. It hasn't been a dramatic thing. You haven't, sold all your worldly goods and flown to Tibet to sit on a mountain. But, you're doing the work you're supposed to be doing, which is you're taking care of yourself, you're working on healing the inner child, you're moving through the different stages of release of things that don't work for you. And for a long time, it just kind of felt like you were just not making any headway. And now we're seeing dramatic changes, and especially after yesterday's eclipse. So it only gets better from here. So hello from South Africa. Hi. Yeah, I'm sorry it's not going to be the best quality video because I am holding the phone here, but we'll make it work. Like I said, energy and technology sometimes really don't go together, because all that wild energy is flowing around. Okay, so I have all of these notes on things that I wanted to talk to you about, and we're going to draw some cards, and I'll take some questions, and we'll just have a good morning together, or good afternoon. Okay, so over the next 12 months, a wave of transformation is set to sweep through our lives. Energetically speaking, many long-term relationships will become karmatically completed in the next 12 months. So we're entering a brand new cycle, or a brand new era, or a brand new chapter. This impending energy will shift and usher in new alignments and new opportunities. So while we are closing the door on some things, we're also opening the doors to wonderful new adventures, new opportunities, and our soul growth. So the things that are out of balance, whether that's a relationship, whether that's personal values or truths, are going to have to be recalibrated. So if you're in a relationship that's struggling right now, if both partners are ready to commit to moving past this, then yeah, you'll probably be fine. But if it's only one-sided, or maybe both people know the relationship could have been a mistake, but you're just staying for convenience or for whatever reason, yeah, that may dissipate in the next 12 months. This shift brings the energetic closure of this chapter. So thank you for the lessons, but now it's time to move on. So in light of these changes, some relationships will naturally dissolve as they struggle to align with the evolving energy. And the good news is we're ascending to the next level and shedding the baggage, like I say, of the old karma patterns, soul contracts, reoccurring trauma loops, and unhealthy patterns. So if you've, hello from Indonesia, hi. So if you're struggling with, why do I keep meeting the same type of people, or why do I end up with the same type of boss, or why do my friends keep betraying me? Something like that. If you've been struggling with a loop like that, it's coming to an end. So this is great news, but it can also feel a little bit frightening because it's change. And even if we're wanting change, even if we're praying for change, when it happens, it's almost like, oh, I'm not prepared. But you are. That's the thing. You are prepared because you've been doing the work. So the bad news with this is anything that's resistant to growth will be left behind. So this could encompass unfulfilling jobs, overbearing materialistic corporations, or unbalanced toxic relationships. We'll see the collective energy surge forward in a wave, and with it, so much will be washed away or released for our highest good. So I want to really harp on that about the corporations. I think that is part of the big change that needs to happen, where people become more involved with the collective as a whole rather than let's get a job to make money and get it before somebody else does. That we're going to see is not really going to translate to this next chapter. Now, that doesn't mean industry is going to crash and burn and everything's going to be completely different. It's just going to morph into a higher vibration. And that's going to feel uncomfortable too, because right now we're drowning in so many choices, so many different things to spend our money on, so many different things to take our attention, so many different things to knock us off the path. So I think with that change, we're going to feel a little bit, like I say, a little bit lost for a little bit of time, but then things will flow much easier because things are going to be in alignment with your truth and they're going to be authentic. So we'll see a lot of small businesses close, probably, yes, but we'll also see a lot of small businesses thrive that are dealing heart-centered things that are going to improve the quality of life for people rather than just take their money. So it's going to be an interesting 12 months as we start this. We're kind of in the beginning of that. The chapter has ended, past chapter has ended, and the new one hasn't quite begun yet. So this is a time where we process the information, process the lessons, process what we've been through, process all the things that have happened in the last couple of years. And wow, that's a lot. So what can you do? Well, you can do the necessary work you need to do. Take better care of yourself, own your healing, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Understand that you aren't responsible for fixing the world, and work on what needs to be addressed in your own orbit. And that's something we see in the healing community quite a bit. People get wrapped up in other people's trauma or other people's problems because we want to help. Nobody comes to the healing community because, haha, we're going to get rich. Yeah, no. No. They come because they have an open heart and they want to help people. But we also have to allow people to have their lessons and have their own learning. And if we try and take that away from them, we end up interfering with their karma and their personal growth. So these are hard lessons, but I think for most of us, we're past that. We've already had those lessons. So we're more likely to not get so totally involved in other people's stuff. So don't fight the change, because the change is going to happen and you can't win. I mean, change is the only constant in life. As crazy as that sounds, but that's the truth, you know? So invest in yourself and ride this wave to a better cycle and a better soul experience, and trust the process, because this is happening for your highest good. It's not happening to you, it's happening for you. As cliche as that sounds, it's the truth. So take care of yourself and be honest about any changes you should commit to, and know that life can change for the better and needless suffering can be lifted. So that's my forecast for the next 12 months. We're going to begin the year of the dragon, and that's when things generally reset. So it's good stuff, good stuff. Okay, so we had an eclipse yesterday on 10/28, and it was a lunar eclipse, and it affected each sign differently. And if you guys want to, I can go back over that, or I can give you the highlights for November. So just let me know. I'm going to take a sip of water while, well, now I'll take a suggestion here. I need to take a minute and pull a message from the universe too. That's this. So bear with me. Let's see. What message does the universe need to tell us now? Woo! Okay. Oh, this looks like it's going to be a good one. Your business is about to take off. Okay. So that's positive. All right. So do we have any business owners out there? Yeah, this is some good news. Your business is about to take off. But I think you probably knew that, because I think people are feeling that. They're feeling these changes are more empowering, excuse me, especially for people that are trying to make a positive change or trying to align with their purpose. So if you know you're supposed to be out there, you know, doing some sort of healing work, becoming a reader, doing something like that, then yeah, you're being pushed to really get out there and do it, because we need you. We need you out there and we need your good energy. So that's a very good sign for today. Okay. Like I said, just bear with me a second. Here we go. All right, so the lunar eclipse, the energy doesn't just end because the eclipse is over. We're going to be feeling this to the next eclipse and actually beyond, because eclipses cause major changes that need to happen. So for whatever reason, these changes haven't happened yet. And it could be because all the parties that were involved were not in alignment. Or it could have been because we're dragging our feet. And I mean, I can raise my hand there, you know, I pray for change too. And then sometimes it gets here and I go, what's happening? So yeah, with Aries, it really hits you in your finances. And I think I've made some videos on the channel about this too, if you guys want to be sure and subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah. But Aries, yeah, it's time to take care of your finances. It's time to actually commit to a budget and commit to owning it, and not just kind of expecting things to work out. So Taurus, the lunar eclipse was in your sign, and it's significant as it's the final eclipse in the set. And the set's been around for a couple of years, and today, or yesterday's eclipse, is the final nudge towards asserting your independence, understanding your relationships, and finding yourself. So this was a huge thing for Taurus, and nothing that they probably didn't already know was in the works, but yet maybe not exactly what they wanted to happen. Because Taurus was pushed to correct imbalances, whether they were, you know, in work life or whether they were in relationships, and that's always uncomfortable. For Gemini, the lunar eclipse was a wake-up call if you've been neglecting self-care or been neglecting I don't know the right word for this. Gemini is such a social creature and they have such a big social network, but at times they don't spend enough time alone to really process stuff and to really take care of themselves. So it's not just about self-care, but it's also about processing lessons and things. So I think that was the big lesson with this. Make sure that you do put in the time to take care of yourself, Gemini. For Cancer, the eclipse affected your social life. And there's some feelings you've been having about your group, the people around you, your spouse. You've just been going through a lot of stuff, and it's kind of come to the surface and bubbled over. So you should be able to clear things out, because you're having more clarity after the eclipse. And Cancer is very much emotional driven. And so sometimes it's hard to really express yourself to other people who are more analytical as to why you're doing what you're doing, or what's motivating you, or what's wrong. So I think the clarity with this eclipse will help you do that. With Leo, wow, this hit you in career, reputation, and life path. So this was a lot for Leo. It was yeah, it was quite eye-opening about what you want to be when you grow up, where you're going to go from here, and just because you want something to happen doesn't mean that it's necessarily the right thing to happen. And also maybe it's time to let go of a particular career path and be open to something better coming along. Leo does not do well with change because it's a fixed sign. So even though Leo wants change, yeah, they don't do well with it. For Virgo, the eclipse brought connections with communication, learning, and transportation to the forefront. So if you are struggling, maybe trying to understand, should you go to school? Should you quit your job? Should you ask for a promotion? Should you rethink this relationship? All those issues came up or will come up over the next couple of months for you to really think through. You have the ability right now to make some drastic changes. Now, whether or not you should do them is up to you, but you have the ability now to do them where you didn't 6 months ago. So this is a good thing. This is you taking your power back. For Libra, this hits you with shared resources and debt. So this is a tough thing for you as well. There's probably going to be arguments around money and property and responsibility. So this is kind of forcing you to grow up a little bit and think about how your life is a reflection of your inner struggle, and the changes you want to make happen aren't necessarily going to be difficult, but they are going to be confrontational. And Libra is so diplomatic and so fair-minded that it's hard sometimes for you to stand up for yourself or to make waves, but it's necessary. So you'll have more clarity around this in the upcoming months, Libra. For Scorpio, the lunar eclipse highlighted differences. And this is a cosmic push forward to close out relationships that no longer work and to make important decisions about where you're going from here. So this also is dramatic for Scorpio. You've been thinking things through for a long time, mulling things over and processing what to do next, which direction to go into, what needs to end. And yeah, this is going to give you the insight you need. For Sag, this is a big turning point for you with this eclipse. In the weeks ahead, there will be a big shift around how you look at yourself, how you look at your health, and some of these changes have been brewing for years with Sagittarius. You know that you need to commit to some changes, and you've done it. That's the thing, Sag, you've done it. And you've been waiting, kind of going, okay, well, you said commit, I committed, I'm doing it, Spirit, why hasn't things changed? Because it took time for it to build and took time to make other things come to you in the perfect alignment. And yeah, so this has been going on for a couple of years, and we're going to see some major changes with your finances to the better and some major changes with your relationships. Either they're going to evolve or they're going to dissipate. And the thing with Sag is usually surrounded by admirers, followers, and you like to flirt, you like to be out there and have fun, and you don't commit easily. But when you do commit, Sagittarius, it's for life. So if you're in a relationship that you've committed to and you've been kind of just holding your breath, waiting for things to settle back down, and it's now been years, chances are good that relationship is maybe not going to withstand the changes coming forward. And I know that's not what you wanted to hear, but maybe you can rally your partner into being more present in the relationship and owning their own stuff and work on it together. But that's what it's going to take. You can't steer this boat alone. You're going to need help. So I know that was a lot. Capricorn, the lunar eclipse for, hello from Australia, hi. We are all international today, aren't we? I love it. Capricorn, the lunar eclipse nudges you to sort out your relationships. Your business relationships, your personal relationships, your relationships with your family, your siblings. Yeah, things have gotten out of balance, and it happens. So this is about clarity about what is most important to you. And you have such a strong work ethic, Capricorn, that sometimes you get so caught up in work, you let things slide. And this is a time to reevaluate that and see what really needs your attention. So it's a good thing, but yeah, it may not feel good as it's happening. With Aquarius, any problems brewing in your domestic or personal life will probably explode this week. This is a cosmic push for you to make changes and get back in balance. Things have been really interesting for you lately. You've said no to some jobs. You've said yes to some new relationships. You've committed to maybe going back to school or at least taking some classes. And yeah, your life is kind of out of balance because you're going through these changes. And at the time, everything feels really good when you commit to it because you know you should be doing this. But instead of just continuously adding things onto your life, you need to find that balance by removing some things. For instance, if you go to work at, say, 8 o'clock in the morning, going to the gym every morning at 5 is probably not going to be something that's going to last, Aquarius. So you need to find a different approach to going to the gym. So that's what we're looking at. We're not really looking at you making major life changes, but rather kind of editing the situation and finding a routine that works better for you. For Pisces, this last series of eclipse falls along your communication axis. And you're going to want to bring a project that you've been working on for some time to fruition now. And you're going to feel very, what would be the correct word? Pissed off when things don't go the way it should. Because you've been working on this for a long time. But it may not be time yet for this project to actually come forward. It's something that's been brewing and you've been working on, but timing is everything, Pisces. Timing is everything. So your ideas are definitely moving forward, but they're just not quite ripe or ready yet. So be patient with this and work on the things that you can now that need your attention, that you've kind of let go because you've been so focused on this one thing. So the thing is to not rush this because this is a life-changing project. And to do that, you need to be able to be fully present and not be worrying about other avenues of your life. So this eclipse will help you get back in balance with that. So yeah, lots of good energy for all the signs. It's like I say, eclipses are game changers because they push us forward when we have been kind of just dragging our feet. Excuse me, let me drink here. That was a lot. I've been talking for 20 minutes. Okay. So, where do we go from here? We've got these changes coming along. We've got, the changes from the eclipse. So what can we expect in November? Well, we have Saturn retrograde ending on the 4th, which let's celebrate that because yeah, this will free up some of the restrictive energy that Saturn retrograde was bringing us, and we can get moving, but we still need to be cautious. We can't just jump out there with both feet and, think that we're going to change the world overnight. No, we didn't get here overnight. So it's going to take a little bit of time to get back in balance and to get clear on what we want. And for so many people, we're having opportunities now that we maybe never thought were possible. So this can feel really overwhelming. So we need this time to think things through and realign with what will move us closer to our ultimate goals and what is just a distraction or is something that will lead us down a rabbit hole that maybe, will move us further from what we ultimately want to create. Venus enters Libra on the 8th of November and can help us come together as we can We can work on group projects, and we can also be more diplomatic in groups. So if you have something that's going on at work, or even with a family event, maybe you're planning for the holidays or a vacation, this would be the time to work on that without anybody, feeling left out or having issues of control or anything like that, because the Libra energy will leave us very diplomatic and very fair-minded. The Scorpio new moon on the 13th helps with transformation and intimacy. So this new moon is all about new beginnings too. So if there's a relationship in the works, but it's kind of going slow, or maybe you're dragging your feet, you're probably going to feel much closer to the other person around the time of the new moon. This is also a great time to manifest. With the intense energy of Scorpio, we can see things coming forward quickly. There's a Lotus Sagittarius energy too in November, with Mercury, the Sun, Mars, and Ceres all entering the sign of Sag in November. So this is a great time for expanding, exploring, and experiencing life. And we can be more open to big ideas, the big picture, and optimism can be high, and we can be much more fun-loving. The Sagittarius energy is all about adventure and exploration. So you're going to feel like planning trips, you're going to feel like taking classes, you're going to feel just more optimistic in general, and you're going to feel flirty. So yeah, it's a good energy. It's a good push to really make us move forward on some of those things that maybe we've been a little bit too cautious over. So there's also a Gemini full moon on the 27th of November, and this can help us sort through the ideas and plans so that we're not running out there and committing to everything with no idea what we're doing or what direction we're going in. And we can focus on what really calls to us versus, just, oh my God, this is a great opportunity, I should take it, I've got 5 minutes, let's do it. Yeah. And there will be that opportunity for a lot of people in November. Lots of big changes that it could just really be overwhelming. So it's great to have someone to talk to about this as well, somebody that you trust, whether that's a mentor or a teacher or just a friend who understands your situation. So better to talk it through with your family than just commit to things and then try and figure out how you're going to do it all. So yeah, the big events are Saturn direct in Pisces, which is November the 4th, Venus enters Libra, November the 8th, Mercury enters Sag the 10th, Scorpio new moon on the 13th, Sun enters Sagittarius, November the 22nd, November the 24th, Mars enters Sagittarius, November the 25th, Ceres enters Sagittarius, November the 27th, Gemini full moon. So we're going to get moving cautiously in November. Things will actually feel like they're moving really fast. It'll be like a blink of the eye, and we'll be here again, and it'll be hello December. Yeah, and actually hello January. It's going to move fast. So be cautious what you commit to or what you give your full attention to. Work to get along, and with this Libra energy on the 8th, with Venus moving into Libra, it will be much easier to get group projects going. This is a key time for transformation and for moving forward on big goals. So expand and explore. Don't be afraid to move out of your comfort zone and try new things. Sagittarius is not so much a daredevil as like Scorpio is. Scorpio is more likely to go skydiving, where Sag, they could go or not. It's not a big deal. They just want to have an adventure. They want to go out there and see the world. So you're probably going to be more likely to travel places that aren't familiar, rather than visiting, the same old places. So this is a great time to plan a vacation, a great time to think about, what classes you would like to take, where you would, and with Sagittarius too, they're a very lucky sign, so they don't really have to worry about money. So they're not taking classes for the betterment of their resume. They're taking classes because they're interested in this. This is something that speaks to them. So you may be taking classes on pottery or creative writing, even though that's not, your forte, your career or vocation. It's things like that. And this will enrich your life and lead to happiness. And who knows who you're going to meet in those classes too. So definitely expand and explore. Sag also is very good at seeing the big picture. Sag, Aquarius, and Pisces all are very good at seeing the bigger picture in life and how things connect that seem like chaos when they're happening. So tap into that energy and think about, like I said, what opportunity is going to move you closer to that ultimate goal, and what is just a distraction. This is also a great time to sort through some of the ideas that you probably had in the past, whether it's, starting a YouTube channel, starting a new business, or, remodeling your house. These ideas, whatever they are, probably were all valid, but for whatever reason, you didn't have time to move forward on them. Maybe you didn't have the funds, maybe you just didn't have the bandwidth, the time to do it. So now we see that you're more likely to do that as well. This is going to be an interesting November all the way around. With the changes from the eclipse, we're going to see a continued wave of just what the hell, what the hell, what the hell. We're going to see lots of strange things in the news, and we're going to see big changes. But they're all ultimately going to end up being a positive impact on the collective and on us. So hang in there and know that, you'll get through this and you'll be much better on the other side of it. And I think your life will look different come January 1st than it looks right now. Extremely different. So yeah, that was a lot, wasn't it? I've been wanting to go live for a while. Hey, Pros and Sorbet, hi. Good to see you. So yeah, it's one of those things. We're going through these changes, going through this cycle, and sometimes it feels like things are happening really, really fast, and sometimes it's like, I've been here forever. When will this change? So yeah, things are going to speed up, and we're going to start seeing changes. And with it, the time is going to go really fast. And then we're going to wake up and it's going to be January. Then it's going to be February. Then it's going to be the dragon year. And everything will feel like we are on a new, not even a new chapter, a new book. Big changes, but good changes. So, does anybody have any questions? I'll draw a couple cards before I leave. Yeah, it's an interesting time, any way we look at it. Let's see. What's going to be the big obstacle for November? Peace of mind. Yeah. I would say that's correct, because with all the changes, it's hard to stay in that positive state, because, we naturally gravitate to, am I going to be okay? But you are. That's the thing. Everybody is going to be fine, because especially if you've been doing the work, if you've been listening to spirit and doing the things you need to be doing, you're golden. You're fine. So what is our biggest thing to use to help us through this energy? Our biggest asset for November. Oh, look at that. I'm probably going to get demonetized. Tap into it, ladies. Tap into it, men. Tap into it. Yeah. Okay. What else can we use? I can't say that word. I will get demonetized here. Quiet time. Okay. So while you're doing that other thing, also think about think about quiet time. Think about time to just sit and reflect on these changes, and also to ensure that you have enough time to process the changes and decide what you really want. That's another thing. What we've wanted for a long time may change. For instance, you may be looking at, a promotion or something like that, and it may be the thing you've been striving for the last 6 months, and suddenly you don't want it anymore. So that can leave people reeling as well. Okay. Will I move to a new department at work? Let's see. Will you? In the next 6 months. Let's do that. In the next 6 months. Happily ever after. It looks like you will. Probably within the next 6 months. Yeah. You'll move to a new department. So that's some good news. And it looks like you'll probably be happy about it as well. So it won't be one of those issues of, why did I want this? I don't know if you were here earlier, but the message from the universe is your business is about to take off. So that's a good one too. I think this is a really promising time for business, especially if it's in alignment with your values. If you're doing something that supports you physically, mentally, and spiritually. You know, if you're working for a corporation that's just, you know, and you're just like, this is just a paycheck and that's all, yeah, you'll probably see some issues come up. But that also is probably something that needs to happen. Okay, so, all right. What do I see happening for you? Let's see. What do I see happening for you? A vacation. Look at that. Okay, yeah. It's time. You need a break. You've been putting in the hours and it's time. You need a break and you need to go with this Sag energy and take a vacation and go out and explore, go someplace. It doesn't have to be, you know, a trip around the world, but even just taking a long weekend or just going off with friends for the weekend will definitely help your peace of mind and restore your energy. And that's the thing, you know, it's about self-care, but it's also about doing the things that we love, spending time with the people we love, spending time exploring. If that's your thing, go do it. If your time is solid, if your thing is solitude with a good book, then go do that. But yeah, I would say, yeah, it's time for a vacation. So that's great. So, okay, if we're looking at this, what can we expect? What can we expect the energy to be like by the end of November for everyone? Got two cards. Breaking free and dreams coming true. Okay, so yeah. And that goes right along with what I was saying. You know, this is the end of the cycle, and we're kind of in the in-between. And yeah, so it's one of those deals where the change may not feel all that great, but the breaking free is actually what really needs to happen, and dreams do come true, so those opportunities will present themselves. Okay, you're having a lot of issues with your van and work, and I was hoping something would come up. Well, evidently something's going to happen if you're going to take a vacation, so that's a good thing. But yeah, I didn't see anything really about work or feel anything about work. So yeah. Sometimes the message from Spirit is pointed in one direction. You know, I do readings sometimes for people and they'll be asking about relationships and it'll all be about work, and it's like, well, okay, work is good, I don't need that, I don't want to know about a relationship. And it's like, well, you know, sometimes that's what Spirit wants to tell you. So by the end of the month, we should be breaking free from old patterns, releasing things that aren't working, and we should also be understanding that dreams do come true, that we can get what we want, we can have a better life, we can end suffering. Oh, you're so welcome. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting month. We're going to blink, it's going to be over, but it's also going to feel really long because of the changes. So what's the best thing we can all do to make the most of this? Look inside yourself. Okay, once again, you know, that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about processing the changes, understanding what you want, and knowing it's okay if that's changed too. Like I said before, where you were 6 months ago is probably not where you are now, and for sure 2 years ago it's not where you are now. So with this new information, with these new values, yeah, life is going to change. So we need to incorporate that in our big overall plan and take the time to really sit with this energy and sit with what we want and get in tune with our heart's desire again, and know that it is possible for us to be free from suffering and be free to live that good life that we do want, because, you know, you guys deserve it. Nobody should have to suffer. So look inside yourself. That's one of the best things you can do for the month. Okay, what else? What big surprise is in store? Feeling safe. Okay. So this has been an issue with the Taurus moon too, because Taurus is about material safety. That's not, you know, it's about being safe and secure, but it's also about material stuff that make us feel safe and secure, because it's a very grounding earth sign. But with the eclipse, with the Taurus energy, people probably weren't feeling really safe because it's change. So we can see by the end of the month, we're going to feel much more secure and safer. So that's a really good thing. I think overall the changes for most people will be easy, as long as we can let go. Hi, Natasha, and not fight the struggle, or not fight or struggle, or think that we can keep things the way they are, because they are going to change. And it's a good thing, though. Like I say, it's a really good thing. So we need to stay optimistic, we need to stay fluid, and we need to understand that change is a good thing. So what is the other big message for November? I was waiting for that one to pop up. Detoxification. So yeah, general for the end of the month. I think everybody needs to also work on detoxing, and that's not just cleaning up the diet. That's about what relationships are toxic, what habits have we picked up that maybe we need to not do, like waking up in the morning and shopping for the first 10 minutes or something like that. We need to look at our habits and look at what's going on in our life and what is supporting us and what's not. So yeah, I think that we're doing that, though. I'm seeing that a lot more in my clients, where people are setting up healthy routines, they're meditating, they're journaling, and they're more empowered to make those healthy choices. And I'm sure that's happening with you guys as well. You're ready to take control of your health, ready to take control of everything in your life instead of just letting things flow. So yeah, I'd say by the end of the month, we're going to be detoxing, we're going to be happy, we're going to be going through these changes, we're going to be releasing things that don't work, and our dreams are within reach. So a lot of good stuff, a lot of really good stuff. I got a question the other day about moving, and there's a lot of people that are moving right now. Let's see. Kick up your heels, yeah. This is a thing where a lot of people are in the flux of moving. And it's interesting because this is historically not a time most people move, but the energy is pushing us to take jobs in other locations, or in relationships, or follow our dreams, which could mean moving to another state, city, country. So yeah, there's a lot of flux around that still. I like to tell people where we are next year is probably where we're going to be for the next decade. So think about that. If you're not happy where you are, you still have time to do a course correction. And and ask yourself, if you're not happy, what needs to change, and start working on that. And even something small, like maybe planting flowers, excuse me, or working on something on your balcony, can make a big change in your life, because it brings in this new fresh energy. And then before you know it, everything has changed. So yeah, all right. Pardon me, we're coming up on 45 minutes here. And I'm starting to lose my voice too. Does anybody have any more questions? And I think I'm going to call it. So we've talked about November's energy. We've talked about the next 12 months energy. We've talked about the eclipse. And we've kind of just done some general stuff too. So yeah, it's been a lot. One more message. Okay. So what's a message from Spirit we all need to know? If you're watching this is what you need to know. Moving forward fearlessly. Do we see a theme here? It's almost like I'm a psychic. Okay. Yeah. So pretty much what I've been saying. It's time to move forward. It's time to release what's holding you back. It's time to step forward, even though it may be uncomfortable or there may be some fear around it. This is being courageous, moving out of your comfort zone. And the one thing that's really interesting, Cancer has been doing this for the last year and a half anyway, has really been pushed out of their comfort zone and made to make big decisions that just seem like overwhelming. So for the Cancers that have been struggling with this, it's not quite over yet, but it's almost there, right? So you're almost where you need to be. So just keep moving forward. But for everybody else, yeah, this is it. Moving forward fearlessly. Keep your head up, understand what you want, and know that everything is working out for your highest good. But we have to follow along. We have to do our part. We have to take care of ourselves. We have to invest in self-care. And we have to think about how our actions are impacting other people and the ripple that our interactions have across the planet. So lots of good stuff. So we're going to move forward fearlessly. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, let's see. We'll do one more. One more message from Spirit, and then we'll call it. Inner child. Okay, yeah, this is kind of a Scorpio theme to work on in October, November, is inner child work. And this is about taking care of your inner child, healing things from your past trauma, childhood trauma, being there for yourself and taking care of yourself and making yourself a priority. I have some classes on inner child work and shadow work. If you're interested, let me know in the description box below. And you can always go to serenityreichiclinic.com. There's tons of classes there as well. Yeah, so this is a time where we turn inward, and it's not like we give up on society, because no, we're actually going to be really busy and very social in November and December. But our focus is not just outward, it's also inward. And you're probably going to be spending more time working through things, working through maybe things from the past that you weren't aware are influencing you now. Your parents or caregivers' relationship as a child with each other that you saw is probably shaped how you think about relationships, or what you think about love, or what role you should take on in a relationship. And sometimes that's great, and sometimes it's not. So we just need to work on healing that inner child and understand that the past is really affecting us, and then make a decision to heal that so that we can live the life that we're wanting to manifest, rather than a life that's kind of been programmed by default. So yeah, what about life for Capricorn? Okay. Yeah, Capricorn, you got some interesting stuff happening, don't you? Let's see. Capricorn message. Problems resolved, or problem resolved. Okay. Yeah, the whole thing with Pluto too, and now, you know, we've got Saturn finally leaving retrograde too. So things are going to get much easier for Capricorn. You're going to feel more empowered and have a clearer direction. There's going to be some clarity around the changes that have happened, and changes that you know you need to make moving forward. So this has not been easy for Capricorn, because you've been thrown one curveball after another. But with this, you've rebounded. You know, you didn't let anything keep you down. You stood up to the changes. And yeah, I think the whole work-life balance is a big issue for you, and I think this has really brought that into light. And some of the problems around that are going to be resolved very soon for Capricorn. This is a better time for you very soon, if it hasn't started already. So yeah, it's an interesting time for everyone as we move forward fearlessly, or at least courageously. Some of the things that Capricorn and some of the other signs have wanted to manifest, they have kind of just kept it to themselves. They didn't really even want to put it out there, because they didn't feel, for whatever reason, it was going to happen. But we're starting to see inklings of that. We're starting to see changes. And Capricorn, speaking of, I just did a video, I think it came out the 27th, on the first 3 months of Capricorn's energy for January. So you might want to check that out if you haven't already. So, yay! But yeah, good things ahead for Capricorn. So yeah, okay, well, some more people came in here. Hi, everybody. How are ya? Yeah, this has been quite, excuse me, quite the adventure for so many people. The last several months have just kind of felt like, on the one hand, you were moving through molasses or quicksand, and it was a dream you couldn't wake up from. And on the other, every time you turn around, something new was happening, and it was opportunities, but it was also overwhelming because most of us weren't in a position to actually take these opportunities because the other things were so out of balance. And it wasn't anything anyone was doing. It was just, the energy was just so much. It was overwhelming. So, oh, okay. You're so welcome. It's one of those things where now we're starting to see things a little bit clearer. We're gaining the clarity. Our feet are feeling more stable on the ground. And with that, it's like, whew, wow, we made it. Yay. Now we're more optimistic and we're ready to go. And if you're not there yet, it will happen soon. It will. Okay. Work-life balance. Yeah, that's it, man. I mean, and it's really difficult. It's really difficult because work for so many people takes over their lives. It's not just Capricorn. It's most signs. Work just takes over, and then you're kind of left going, when am I gonna have a social life, or when am I gonna see my family? So it is something a lot of people work on. Okay, so I'll draw one more card. What the hell? Why not? Okay, what is a big secret that will come out during November? Creative expression. So that's interesting. So as a secret, maybe the secret is something that you've been working on creatively, I can't even talk anymore. Something that you've been working on that's been a hobby, how about that, could turn into something more. But it's probably something that you keep a secret for some reason. You may be painting, or you may be writing poetry or something. You may be dancing, you may be, making movies, whatever it is. You're not quite ready to show it to people because you're just not quite ready. And this could come out in November, and this could be something that actually is really good. It's a positive secret coming out that could either align you with the right people, helping you find your tribe, or opening opportunities that we couldn't even, think about in September, October. So yeah, so a creative experience could definitely change the course of things in November for us. So what is it that you're working on? Creativity. What is your hobby? Can't talk it all now. And that's the way it is with the energy. Woo, when it starts flowing. Woo. So, okay, you've got this hobby, you've got this thing you're working on that you're not showing people, or you're not talking about. How would it change your life if that came forward? And is that something you want to pursue too? Or is it something just, So that's something to think about. Okay, that's it. I'm losing my voice. It's going to be time to go. Thank you guys so much for coming and seeing me this morning. I really enjoyed it. And I'm sorry the first stream didn't work, but I'll try and do this again next week, and for sure I'll do one at the end of November as well. But I may try and do it again next week so we can kind of look at the energy for the week. I like that, and I'm really happy that everybody came, and that we had a chance to visit. And thank you for coming. I appreciate it, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Reiki blessings. Bye bye.